Okay, we can start whenever
All right.
they're ready.
Let me get some more lighting for you.
Okay. شكركم شجعين
شرف فيك طبعا.
شرف لنا طبعا إن شاء الله.
2 minutes.
All right. In 2 minutes we shall start.
Where's the service? What? Where's the service? There's no coffee, no tea, no juice, nothing.
The happy hours here.
This is the place where you bring your
Yeah,
own
that's
stuff.
much better.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to make the same mistake as last
Yeah,
time.
I found it. Can you
This
do
is
that?
great. We need another picture of it.
Thank you.
This will be better.
Go ahead,
Fine,
honey.
guys.
Honey, take a picture with the lights. Take your mask. No mask after. No.
Come to here, honey.
Yeah, come closer.
Yes.
لا 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 مستحيل مستحيل. أنا لا لا مستحيل. لا لا. اوكي. هذا خالص خلص الفيلم. I'm ready whenever you are.
Recorder. Okay. Good.
Here it's being recorded. Right?
It's live on Instagram. We're live on Instagram.
Is it okay we go live?
Yeah. That's the idea. Oh, just in time. Yusuf is here. This is a beautiful place. I mean, the red, wow. And you look good in it, man. I mean, with the lighting and everything. Amazing. Really amazing arena. Yeah. I haven't seen anything like it.
واحد is the third and the fourth in the DCC.
Right here.
The arena.
ممكن third. لأنه في واحدة بقطع واحدة في الريف. لا 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 اوكي لا هي اصغر واحدة. هي 300 متر. تنافس فيها يمكن the best have black magic. نحن كستريمر احنا كل الامريكان برودكتس. بلاك ماجيك تريكاستا ككواليتي بلاك ستريمر بس كده بس هذا نفسه.
Okay. Rahman, I think he has a last touch.
Before you start, we need that we go live.
Yeah, I'll just start now. So I don't let you wait. Okay. Welcome to the session today in this beautiful Rush for Fun arena by Future Communication. I'm really happy to be around. I mean, we haven't been in face-to-face, gathering since a long time, although earlier this month I was in Salt Lake City attending the ATV. It was beautiful to see people and, to mingle and talk. and to discuss things like minded people. So, about our session today, it's all about questions. I would like to ask you if you ever had a question, either you asked it by yourself, to yourself, or someone else had asked you such a question. And that questions really have changed your life. Anyone? Any volunteer? Think about it. Really, go into retrospective in your history and see the milestones and where you really had a lead. And think about it backward. You will see there was a question somehow. Either you asked yourself, where am I? Or what do I want to do in this life? Or what's my purpose? Or someone else, like your leader, asked you.
Yes, there's one question before.
Please.
And when I was, I thought I was 16 years old, our coach of the national team, he asked me, where you will be in 10 years?
Wow, that's a strong question, right?
That time I didn't understand that.
Of course.
So he tried to explain to me and for all the team.
Mm.
Since that day, I had started on my plan for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. 20 years.
And that changed your life for the better. Of course, even in your career. Yeah. For me, it was a question that happened to me in 1997. We had a CEO who was really tough, but he was really good in Gulf Bank. And he saw me in the elevator. Like I was almost 9 years in banking, And he asked me a question. He said, Hamza, what do you want to be, a banker or a marketeer? And I didn't know back then. I was in the marketing, and I was doing good. I was getting promoted, I was getting the grade, I was happy. Then I said marketing. He said, oh, good, because if you had told me banker, I would have told you you should be in corporate finance. This is where the banking really is. So, but he said, but you are an engineer. You don't have qualification in marketing. You should seek your qualification. And the bank will sponsor you. Check out, mind you, this is like a few seconds in the elevator. No? I stopped on the 4th floor where I should go. I stayed with him until his floor, 7th floor, and then I came back. Because he was telling, check out cim.co.uk. This is the Chartered Institute of Marketing. And immediately I looked it up, and I looked at the qualification. I went through the 5 qualifications. hierarchy, and people call it the good angel and the bad angel or whatever, or Satan. We have two mindsets. And this is what we learn. Learner mindset or judger mindset. And because of our amygdala, the part of the brain, the reptilian part of the brain, the survival mechanism, fight, flight, freeze, responsible for us being all the time by default on the judger mindset. And that's what made our life really bad, really terrible. I mean, if we are always in a judger mindset, we are always blaming, and we're always frustrated, and we're always stressed because we cannot control our life. We have no control of our life. We're always looking at external factors, external stimulus, and we're blaming. We're blaming the government, we blame the streets, we blame the country, sometimes we blame the heat. Have you blamed the heat? In Kuwait it's so hot in the summer. Of course it's hot in the summer. This is normal, that's a fact. You cannot change it. Just accept it. And that's the different mindset, right? We will ask more better questions to ourselves and others to communicate better and to have a stronger relationship based on good intention. Expand your problem solving, decision making, and expertise in the keyword approach. We will look at tools. We don't have the time to look in details, but I'll give you a breath, and in the full workshop we will do most of these things. Apply what you are learning in the current relevant situation, a new way of thinking, and so on. So what is Q-work? Q-work is building capability and capacity of individual rationale and organization and society, the power of internal questions. And let me ask you, who can control the thoughts in their minds? Anybody show of hand?
It's impossible.
Cannot control them?
You know why?
Why?
Because each second you have thousands of thoughts.
Yeah, they say, I remember I read an article on this. There's so many thoughts that comes through our mind.
You catch that thought, you do it, that's it.
Now, the thought I'm talking about is the automatic thoughts. And باللغة العربية is much better. باللغة العربية عندنا الأفكار والتفكر. يعني واحد يفكر وواحد ثاني يتفكر. يتفكر, what it is that he thinks purposely, not the automatic thought. I'm talking about the automatic thought that, like when you're praying, you don't know which rak'ah you are in, and because you're thinking of so many things, and many thoughts that comes to your mind. These type of thoughts, and of course, maybe the lady here knows how to meditate and how to control her thoughts, because in your part of the world there's, very anciently the study of, controlling the thoughts and being in the present and living the now. And basically, for me, I talk about myself. I'm always thinking of tomorrow or next year or what's going to happen later for my children. Now, when I do that, what am I doing? Yeah, but what action am I taking? It's waste, right? It's waste of energy.
Just passive, of course.
Exactly. And I used to complain. I used to when I sit with my friends, I tell them about the issues that I have at work or something. And I realize that why am I doing this? Why do I complain to them? What are they going to do? So it's all about changing or controlling the thoughts. Actually, sometimes we think about the past. oh, why didn't I do that? I had a meeting, I had an opportunity to speak up, and I didn't do it. And you're thinking, dwelling about the past. Even the past, what can you do for it? It's gone. So the way to live is living the present, day by day or moment by moment by moment. And if we are able to live moment by moment by moment, we will be, because life happens in the moment, whether it was in the past or what will happen in the future. It happens in this moment. So what are we doing in these moments to create the future? That's what counts. And sometimes, things happens to us, situations, circumstances. The saying says, it's not what happened to us, it's how we react, or how do we respond, or what do we do with this, what happened to us, these circumstances. Are they going to make us, or are they going to break us? And that's totally, what this teaching is all about. And the way to control our thoughts, I found out, is through focusing on your breathing. So because our breath is ni'mah min ni'am Allah, we don't care about it. We don't think about it because it happens subconsciously. We breathe. So when you are deliberately breathing, when you focus on your breath, you cannot think of anything else. So when you focus on your breath, always, take a deep breath like a little baby when their stomach goes up and down. Don't breathe shallowly. That's why air is free. Subhanallah, and God created air free so we all can breathe and we all have abundance of it. So don't limit yourself of, shallow breath. No, take a deep breath. I'm sorry. And take a deep breath and focus on your breath deliberately. You will find yourself that for a moment you have no thoughts. And that's a beautiful feeling when there is no thoughts. And that's what conscious is all about, being conscious, or الإنسان الواعي اللي مو غافل مثلا بالعربي يقول غافل. So it really creates a new future. If we are working on this pattern from the past, and we go regularly, sometimes up, sometimes down, and we go into our routine. This is our life in a nutshell. Sometimes something happens to us at a point of time that change the way we look at things, or changes our life, because we changed our thoughts, or we change, even thoughts comes from the way we ask ourselves the questions. Originally, the thoughts comes from questions that we ask ourselves. So if you see this circle there, when you have a new questions, you create a new future. And we are in the future, right? And this is, how you create a new future rather than doing the same thing over and over again. And somebody says this is insanity. If you're doing every day the same thing over and over and expecting something miracle to happen, it's not going to work. Insanity. So you always have to do different things, and your day should be different or better than yesterday, and so on. So here, for example, I have a story from a lady who had an issue with her boss. Okay? And she loves her job, but she hates her boss. So she went to Marilee and asked her for help. So Marilee asked her, what is happening, And what are the questions that you're asking yourself on a daily basis before you go to work? And she said, well, I'm always thinking, how he's going to act today, or how is he going to make me look bad? Or another question, something similar, like all negative, like how is he going to make me fail? Or how is he going to put me in a failure path? So I ask you this question, Does she have a chance? Does he, the boss, have a chance? He or she, whatever. They don't have a chance, right? Because she already programmed herself that that's what she will see, that's what she will look up, and that's what she will attract. Because, you know, what we think, our thoughts, it's energy. It vibrates, yes, it vibrates, and it touches you. It touches everything. It touches the plant, even the seed. So what are the thoughts that you are radiating? You are attracting to yourself. So Mary was able to construct different questions for her. One question that was really strong for her was, how am I going to make my boss look good today? It's totally different, right? It's completely the opposite. And the lady was curious, how am I going to do that? And she said, just think about it. And tomorrow when you wake up, go to work and think of that question. How am I going to make my boss look good today? The result, after 4 months, usually Melanie doesn't see her, people from the participants in her programs. But she happened to know this lady and her husband, and they live in the same, near Princeton University in New Jersey. So she saw the lady, and she said, I wonder what happened to her. She saw her in a mall or something. And the lady, when she saw Mary Lee, she smiled. So Mary Lee was relieved that at least she's smiling when she saw me. So she came and she said, what happened? You know, tell me, I need your feedback. She said, you won't believe what happened. She said, what? Look at the result that happened. She said, I like my boss. I got promoted, first of all, in my job, because before, with her negative attitude, she could have been fired within a month or so. She said, I still have my job. I got promoted. I got a raise. I am in an excellent relationship with my boss. And my husband is so happy, because I don't complain every evening about my boss. So 5 results from just changing the questions to create a new future. So questions are really powerful. And I, for example, I don't know how to ask questions. Really, I'm really terrible at that. That's why I became, expert in this. Because I would ask my daughter every day, I bring her from school the same question. What's the question? How's school? And what's the answer? Good. Good. And every day I ask her the same question. I look at it in retrospect and I say, what am I doing? And she asks, good. She says, good. I'm not getting anything. So the question to ask is, who did you play with today? With the curriculum? What was the most interesting teacher? Why were they interesting? Who did you partner? Did you have a project to work on or something? To make the conversation really valuable, you ask questions, and there are many books written on questions and how to ask good questions. This is one of the tools that we have in the question world. It's called the QDAR. And you can QDAR anything. You can QDAR this project, this Rush for Fun. How you QDAR it? You go, now it is there, right? You go back and you ask, what questions did we have when we wanted to build this? Well, this was an idea, right? And now it is happening. It is there. It is functioning. And we're using it. So what was the questions that we were wondering and talking about before we started this project? And what decision did we make? Why did we make the red, for example? And the action we've taken, and the results that we have. Now, the best part of this tool is that is there is a small R there that gives you the reflection. You know, in everything we do, we don't reflect. I don't know about you. Do you reflect? Reflect on things, like sit by yourself in the garden and you reflect on the day, how it happened, how you feel better, or reflect on the year, or reflect on whatever. Of course. Is it helpful? Very important skill to have, to reflect. So it brings you back to have different questions, and you can have different results for the same thing. Great results begins with great questions. So thinking is an internal question, and answer process indicator. Speaking is a process of external answering of an internal question. And listening is a frame and bounded by the questions through which we listen. So sometimes we listen with different mindsets, and we talk, and we see, and we touch, and we taste with different mindsets. If we are listening from a judger mindset, or if we are listening from a learner mindset, it's extremely different. Let me speed it up, and it will affect our behavior. So usually what happens to us in real life, moment to moment to moment, we get a stimulus and we have automatic reaction. And we react. And this is, the result usually is negative. Okay? What we are saying here is to pause. And even in our religion, we are supposed to pause and take a deep breath and become curious. What do I want from this relationship? If it's a conversation, tough, difficult conversation with your spouse or with your partner or with your employee or your boss, what do I want? And then choose the response. And usually the response will be more positive when you pause. Rather than reacting automatically. So you need to break the automatic. And to break the automatic, sometimes you need just to focus on your breath and take a deep breath and stop the thoughts altogether. So we always, we want to live a learner living. We want to move from certainty to inquiry. And to do that, we don't need to know all the answers. A month ago, I was with my daughter, and she told me something really hit me. She said, yeah, Mr. Know-it-all. And I looked at her, what do you mean? She said, you know everything. I said, oh my God, I don't want to be that person. I want to be curious. Yeah, and I realized that whenever we have a conversation, I always come up with an input to add. And sometimes I'm the first one to put the input, so everybody who had different opinions maybe will not have a voice to talk because I'm the one who is, talking. So it's better not to have all the knowledges. It's become curious and live life with curiosity. Even when somebody tells you a joke that you've heard it before, don't tell them I know it or I've done it or just let it happen. They enjoy being right, certain people. They find exploration, discovery, and learning much fun. Wants to look good. Expect to learn and grow from their mistakes. So different mindset, right? It's totally different mindset. And we teach sometimes, especially with COVID, we teach the VUCA word. And the VUCA, the acronym VUCA, it stands for volatile world that we live in, uncertain, complex, and the A, I think ambiguous. Okay, so I tell them, when was life ever not ambiguous? We don't know what will happen 5 minutes from now. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. It's always uncertain. It's how you show up. It's how you show up for the uncertainty that makes a big difference. So this workshop with the tools works in three types of, to put it together. We have awareness. We have to be aware. We have to be aware of our assumptions, feelings, emotions, and questions that we are asking. And then we have the skills, choice mapping, questioning, listening, and switching from a judger mindset to a learner mindset. And then we have the tools, the choice map, Q prep, win-win request, a Q meeting, question meeting, a Q project, and a Q storming, and then we have a Q review. The Q storming is very interesting. It's like brainstorming, but in brainstorming, you're generating ideas, and then you're selecting the proper ones. In a Q storming, you are asking questions. So you are coming with questions about the issue, about the problem, about whatever the project that you are insinuating to take. So you're asking lots of questions, and from those questions, you will be amazed that maybe the directions that you are taking in that project or in solving a problem has nothing to do with the problem itself, because the questions will identify the problem, and once you identify the problem, solving it, it will be possible. So Q storming. Okay, this is where you participate. Now, what do you think of this picture? What does it make to you? You don't like it, right? You felt it, right? It's honey. What? These days, obvious. Okay. He's multitasking. That's that's normal, huh? But the baby is crying, huh? So, what assumption did we just make? Yeah. How about he was looking for the best video or the best game to show him, because this is why he was crying. So this is, how assumptions can make us or break us. I mean, we need to look at our assumption. Sometimes we assume stuff and we treat it as a fact. That's a big mistake. Okay, assume, but don't separate the facts from the assumption. These have nothing to do with this, and we are wired like this. You immediately see it by default, because that's the amygdala. That's how our brain wired. It's since when we were hunters and gatherers to protect us. Now we don't have the same threats like lions in the jungle or something, but we have maybe threats that we create ourselves in our mind, assuming stuff, like the news now with the COVID and stuff. You're looking at the news all the time. I mean, you're bringing it to yourself. Okay, this is a beautiful illustration, cartoonish illustration. And I'd like you to tell me, what do you see in this cartoon illustration? Two baths, huh? What else?
Learn from this mistake. Have a question and change his back.
Yeah. There is a switching lane. That's what makes it practical. See, we always, moment by moment by moment, we stop, something happens, and we either go learner or judger. But by default, we go judger immediately. And we ask the questions of why did it happen to me? Why me? Why they are, either you are, asking about yourself and blaming yourself, or you're blaming others. Why did they do that? And what have you. So basically, we tend to go judger path, and the questions is to blame. Whose fault it is? Who's the person that we're going to point the finger? Okay, I'm not going to say that. And you end up, it's an automatic reaction. Win-lose. You're always looking at yourself to win and lose the other. And you end up in this famous gender pit. And sometimes you stay lifetime in this gender pit. You're always, why am I such a failure? This is the question. Why are they so stupid? Why bother? You give up in life. Where the learner path is more what?
Doesn't know that he's there.
Yes, thinks he's right and everybody is wrong. And here, even the way he looks, the way he walks is more curious. And the question, what happened? What do I want? Okay? In the old days, if somebody, say some bad word to my friend, I will go to fight. My friend doesn't want to fight, I will go to fight. Now, if somebody tells me directly that word, I will take it that way and move on. I don't need to be involved. So, what do I want from this incident? What do I want? You had an accident. Sometimes you shout and scream and, what do you want? So when you look, what are the facts? What are the assumptions I'm making about this or that? What are they thinking, feeling, and wanting? Others, person, you think about. It's all about empathy. So it gives you like really the emotional intelligence. It sits on four pillars: self-awareness, self-management, awareness of others, and management of emotion and empathy with others. It gives you the self-awareness and the self-management, this tool. Because you need to think every time, every moment, you need to think, where am I now? Am I in the judger path or am I in the learner path? Now, if you find yourself on the judger path, you want to ask yourself different questions, switching questions like, what do I want from this relationship, this project, this job? I get surprised. Sometimes people complain about the job that they have. And when they complain, I tell them, before you have the job, were you looking forward for it? Yeah, I was looking forward. Now we had it. What happened? And this happens to us all the time, even in school times. Now we look at school times, in retrospect, it was the best time. But when we were in school, we were determined and we wanted just to get out. So we are not living again at the present moment. So this tool is good to visualize, it's good to have it, to remind yourself where you are now. Especially in the morning, you wake up, what do you want to eat? And this changes your physiology. It changes the way you think, it changes your attitude. And when your attitude changes, your behavior changes, and when your behavior changes, your response will change. Sure. And this is, based on research by our friend this is very neat. She wrote 3 books. One is a textbook that teaches and it's taught in leadership classes in universities. And changing your questions change your life. This is the 12 powerful tools for leaders and coaches. And this is last summer, she was writing for months after we got this certification in Princeton. So yeah, let me do this exercise just to make you feel how it is. Now, just look and listen to me asking this question. What's wrong with me? Whose fault is it? Why are they so stupid? How can I prove that I am right? Haven't we been there, done that? Why bother? What sort of emotion and feeling these questions brings to you?
Find the reason for my failure.
Then negative. Doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. These questions for result in your mood, pessimism, stress, and limitations. What was the limitation? Abundance.